والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله وعلى آله وصحبه ومن والاه، أما بعد. يقول المصنف رحمه الله تعالى في حضور مجالس العلم، أي سأنبئكم ببعض الآداب في حضور مجالس العلم وكيفية الحضور فيها والاستنفاع منها والانتفاع منها. So it's like today, or the author telling us they're going to talking about some etiquette of the study of sessions or the majalis al-ilm. And truly in majalis al-ilm, the most important thing that start with is the sincerity, because learning requires sincerity. And the purpose of learning is what defines the journey of the student of knowledge. It's either a journey to become a person who really want to be stubborn, dispute, and just learning for the sake of self-ujub. Or truly a student of knowledge want to learn, and the greatest of the learning is someone to learn how to get nearer to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So the most important aspect in the study of the knowledge is the inquiring of the knowledge of itself. And there's the type of the knowledge and the way how to get it. And the type of the knowledge should be the knowledge that gets someone near to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. He's saying, by knowing that, this is what he's saying. قال إذا حضرت مجلس علم فلا يكن حضورك إلا حضور مستزيد علما وأجرا. So this is the first condition. قال إذا حضرت مجلس علم, if you attend a study session, behave only like someone who wishes to increase his knowledge and to win greater reward from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So this comes back to the sincerity that we were talking about. So while you are studying and attending a session of knowledge, قال إلا حضور مستزيد, أي someone who attending to learn more. There is mas'ala, he want to know the depth of this mas'ala. There's evidence or mas'ala, and the sheikh or the scholar is going to go in analysis its evidence. So he wants to learn this evidence, the path of this evidence, the authenticity of this evidence. Increasing knowledge, learning, and having this knowledge, knowing this path is the learning. It has a reward from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And what great benefit and blessing will be given for talib al-ilm. So this is someone who's sitting to learn, he's talib al-ilm. So he is already into the realm of طلاب العلم. قال لا حضور مستغن بما عندك. This is one of the impediment. Some people, they listen or they attend مستغن. مستغن means like he's already satisfied with the knowledge he has, thinking that he attained the peak of knowledge. And this, subhanAllah, the biggest problem in the body of the student of knowledge or among people start from this intention or from this behavior. Because قال, look what he said, قال لا حضور مستغن بما عندك. الإنسان المستغني بما عنده, which means like he feel like already he does not need your knowledge. So why are you sitting actually? The people, they come and sit just to say, oh, he's a good speaker, mashallah, he's good. What he said is right. I don't agree with them. If you don't agree with them, who are you to not agree? Imam Malik, he has, someone that has been, traveling for Imam Malik 4 months to meet Imam Malik for Ba'd al-Masail. He was from North Africa, from Bilad al-Maghrib. When he get to Imam Malik and he asked him, he said, I have some question. He said, go ahead. Every time this person asked him, and Imam Malik said, I don't know this. The first question, I do not know. Fine, that's fine. The second question, Imam Malik said, I do not know. The third question, he said, I do not know. Almost 70% of the question, Imam Malik said, I do not know. And this is a scholar who came from Ahl al-Maghrib to take, the whole time learning from Imam Malik, waiting for Imam Malik to give them, the fatwa on all the matters. This is not a matter of, disputing or a matter to learn more or to know which of the school of thought had found an opinion. No, it's a matter that is fundamental for their activity in their life. So after passing almost 70%, so this scholar said to Imam Malik, said, what I'm going to say to my people when I go back? قال قل لهم إن مالك قال لا أدري. Tell them, Imam Malik said, I do not know. And that's why the scholars they say, I do not know is the half of the knowledge. But someone to come to a halaqah, حضور مستغن, he's like he's not in need of learning. He's not in need of learning. He feels like he already knows everything. And that most of the people, especially in Muslim countries, everybody is a scholar. They ask a question before you start to talk, all of them, they answered. All of them scholars, all of them politicians, all of them, analysis. And that's, subhanAllah, the phenomena and the disease within the ummah. فنسأل الله سبحانه وتعالى أن يرفع عنا هذا البلاء. قال طالب لا حضور مستغن بما عندك طالب عثرة تشيعها. So the person who he sees, for example, say, oh, there is a study about fiqh. He said, I already studied this book of fiqh. So he feel like he's already fine. He does not need more. He's at the peak of this book. Then when he or she comes, they will be seeking al-athra. Al-athra is to trip. So when, subhanAllah, seeking any mistake that the scholar will be, he might say. So subhanAllah, instead of helping a person, you find people, subhanAllah, and it's very common sometimes, even in the salah, that people, they don't listen to the recitation. They're waiting for the imam they hope the imam to make a mistake so they can correct. It is common, it's not like, we're not talking about the alhamdulillah or masjid, I don't think we have such a thing, but it is common. But it's not nice, it's not right. It's not right, as you're going to see. So it's not a good behavior, it's not a good character. The same when it comes to study of knowledge. قال طالب عثرة تشيعها. I mean, you say, oh, subhanAllah, I attended to scholar so you know what he said in that matter? He said such a thing. But he said such a thing maybe as an evidence that you do not know that he has it. And you think that is a mistake. So طالب عثرة يشيعها, to spread it among the people. So this scholar is not reliable. Why? Because he did a mistake in such a matter and so on. أو غريبة تشنعها. Or sometimes one of the scholars, he mentioned an odd opinion, and he might have his source for that odd opinion. Odd for us, but for the scholar, he has, his sources for it. So we're going to say, oh, don't take from the scholar. He said something so strange that should not a person, trust them. فهذه أفعال الأراذل الذين لا يفلحون في العلم أبدا. He said, subhanAllah, this is the behavior of vile people who never succeed in their studies. And they never succeed in their acquirement of knowledge. Because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, who will be benefiting from knowledge? A person who has the ability to understand, and the ability to understand comes by the ability to reflect. And the ability to reflect comes by, first, the ability to listen. And the ability to listen only can be possible by being humble. Therefore Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala قال الذين يستمعون القول. So the first aspect, first listen. فيتبعون أحسنه. So the result of listening with devotion, with humbleness, you're going to benefit. Then you're going to select from what you have listened, what you have heard, the best that is going to help you in your next journey, in your next moment, what you're going to do. Some of the things you're going to record, other is going to, subhanAllah, open for you horizon of, other ideas. So the idea fertilize each other, itself, And this is start with the sama'. قال لو كنا نسمع أو نعقل ما كنا من أصحاب السعير. So subhanAllah, the sama' is the fundamental aspect of learning. The Prophet ﷺ, when he used to speak to the companion, قال كأن على رؤوسهم الطير. You see them, it's like subhanAllah, the birds are on top of their head, which is mean in full devotion, calmness, and they're subhanAllah in full stillness, listening. listening to the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So look here, Ibn Hazm rahimahullah ta'ala is saying such a people, are manifesting the behavior of the most vile people, and those that will not succeed in knowledge. They will never succeed in knowledge. They will never be able to learn, because the learning of the knowledge comes with the learners of the usul. Man hurima al-usul, hurima al-usul. And usul are the fundamental of every chapter of book in the fiqh or in the aqidah or into the linguistics, in the lugha, or into the maqasid, or into the usul. All the usul, which is mean the fundamental of the chapters or all the books, that will be able someone to immerse himself or herself into that study. Because if you don't have the basic tools of every book, and you don't have the basic tools of the knowledge itself, then someone will not be able to get into this ocean of knowledge. So the basic and the usul help, as tools for someone to be able to navigate or to get to swim into this ocean. If not, you're going to drown. فإذا حرضتها على هذه النية فقد حصلت على خيرا على كل حال. So if you come with the intention to learn and استزيد, you increase in knowledge, by first being humble and listen. Then subhanAllah, it might be after you start, expressing and observing such a great etiquette, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He going to yaftah alayk, He open on you. Then you're going to hear if the person who's speaking, he's helping you to learn more, or maybe this person who's speaking, you need to learn. Then you're going to act, but the action comes with etiquette. For this reason, the Prophet ﷺ قال لا ينال هذا العلم متكبر وحيي. Two types of people will not be able to learn this knowledge. متكبر, المتكبر is the arrogant. The arrogant is like Ibn Hazm he mentioned. He said, as he said, قال مستغن بما عندك. I mean, he feel like you already have enough, and he's above you. And there is nobody above anybody, And we have many of the ahadith. They say, subhanallah, رواية الأكابر على الأصاغر. Al-Akabir, which is the shuyukh, the scholar, they narrate the hadith on their own student. Like the famous hadith of washing the feet and ghasl al-barajim of Al-Imam Malik, he get it from his student. So to say, and they see, subhanallah, how humble they are, and they're truthful. You're not going to say it, I will not get my student, or I will not narrate a hadith from my student. No. For everyone, subhanAllah, in a position to learn, as himself, Imam Malik said, when he was looking at the grave of the Prophet ﷺ, قال كل يؤخذ منه ويرد إلا صاحب هذا القبر. Everyone you can take from and you reject, except the one laying in this grave, sallallahu alaihi wasallam. All what he says is the truth. All what he says is wahy, sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Now, فإذا حضرتها, if you then attend the session of knowledge with the niyyah. I'll continue the hadith. So he said the first one is al-mutakabbir. Why al-mutakabbir will not be able to benefit? Why? Because he thinks that he knows the truth. What you're saying is rejected. So that person, he has the ala, the ability of listening and hearing, he subhanAllah switch it off. Which is going to switch off soon his heart by subhanAllah killing the insight in. The second, al-hayy. Al-hayy will like subhanAllah extremely shy. The extremely shy, he will not be able to understand. Why? Because he will be shy to ask a question. And learning is asking a question. Learning is asking a question. That's why subhanAllah, the best of the student, those who will bring out from their teacher the maximum of the knowledge. So you have a recipient of knowledge, full of knowledge. How are you going to have advantage of this knowledge? By the right question. So you will have, subhanAllah, this scholar to empty what he has or to provide what he has. That's why before, even when we have learned, subhanAllah said, the questions are the way how to benefit from your teacher. And for this reason, the Prophet ﷺ called asking a question teaching. When Jibreel alayhi salam came to the Prophet ﷺ in the shape of a human being, and he asked the Prophet ﷺ about Islam, Al-Iman, Wal-Ihsan, Wa-Ashrat al-Sa'a, etc. After he left, the Prophet ﷺ said, do you know who was asking the question? They said, Allah wa Rasuluhu a'lam. قال هذا Jibreel. This is Jibreel came to teach you your deen. How teach the deen when he only asked the question? So the teaching is in asking the question. So al-haqiqi, the person who is extremely shy, will not be able to ask the question. Why? Because he's shy, he cannot do it. So these two categories will not be able to benefit from the knowledge. And not any question, sometimes because when it is clear, someone should not ask a question. And sometimes in a majlis, people, they look like, knowledgeable and everything. But when they ask a question, they kind of, subhanAllah, disclose their state, For the asking a question also, it requires, subhanAllah, humbleness, not to be shy, but also, as Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala قال لا تسألوا عن أشياء إن تبد لكم تسؤكم. Do not ask about things when it appears to you is going to hurt you. And that's another chapter. Maybe he will talk about it, inshaAllah ta'ala. قال فإذا حضرتها على هذه النية فقد حصلت خيرا على كل حال. So if you come with the sincere intention that we have described, you're going to be benefiting in all your states. فإن لم تحضرها على هذه النية فجلوسك في منزلك أروح لبدنك وأكرم لخلقك وأسلم لدينك. But if you do not have this intention, staying at home, it's going to be better for you, more restful to your body, and more honorable to your moral, and more aslam. It will be, subhanAllah, more safe for your deen. So better stay at home. If you don't have the right intention, stay at home. فإذا حضرتها كما ذكرنا فالتزم أحد ثلاثة أوجه. So if you have the right intention, you have to observe one of these three one of these three attitude. So he's saying, rahimahullah. So the first attitude, قال إما لا, he said ثلاثة أوجه لا رابع لها. There's no fourth of it. قال إما أن تسكت سكوت الجهال فتحصل على أجر النية في المشاهدة وعلى الثناء عليك بقلة الفضول وعلى كرم المجالسة ومودة من تجالس. So if a person, you may keep quiet in the silence of an ignorant person. I do not know anything. So you have the right intention to learn and to be rewarded. So تحضر حضور الجهل سكوت, you be silent as someone who does not know anything. And it is like, subhanAllah, beautiful intention, because not knowing, this is how you're going to learn. Because if you know already what the teacher is saying, it's going to be a good reminder for you. And sometimes you know things, and when you hear it from someone else, you learn more than what you already know. Why? Because he might say it in different perspective. He might say it even in a tone that different than when you have heard it the first time. So it will have, subhanAllah, an impact on your heart more different than the first time you have heard it. You might be going through circumstances that, subhanAllah, reshaped things within you. So someone, for example, he used to heard about, the benefit to come to the masjid. You know them all. If you come to the hadith, you know them all. But if someone will recite them for you again, subhanAllah, it revives again that longing to be closer to the masjid, that longing to be the first in the salah, that longing to maybe to strive for the first row. You know all the hadith, and you know how beautiful they are. But subhanAllah, it comes, time pass by, all that, that incentives in this hadith dies inside you. So when you hear them back, you revive them. So when you enter to listen and you be quiet, as he's saying here, قال, the quietness or the calmness or the silence of ignorance. That's, you will obtain the reward of your intention first. Allah give you the reward of this intention in attending the study session. Praise for your reserve, because subhanallah, people they're gonna be قال والثناء عليك بقلة الفضول. People they respect you because you didn't, in any way cause any trouble into this study. So even the speaker or the people or your neighbor around you, you becomes a source of inspiration to focus. Even the person does not know anything, so he getting the reward by even inspiring people to listen. Because when someone looking at his phone and he look at his neighbor and he see him listening, he will feel like shy. He's gonna turn off the screen, put it on the side and listen. So he becomes like also inspiring other people. وَعَلَى كَرَمِ الْمُجَالَسَةِ, and the dignity in your behavior. And the dignity in the behavior, you're going to be rewarded for it. قَالَ وَمَوَدَّةِ مَنْ تُجَالِسِ, and the love and the kindness and the friendship of those you are mixing with. Next time they're going to see you, they're going to greet you in a more warm way, because you were someone who's like, subhanAllah, source of inspiration in listening and focusing. Subhanallah, this one, it doesn't require to be a scholar or to be a student of knowledge. It's the behavior as in the intention. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, wallahi, will increase you in knowledge. Because when you learn, for what is the purpose of learning? To increase in good behavior, in moral, in piety, in taqwa, in nearness to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So if this intention, and you will be rewarded for it, and you become like someone who's like, subhanallah, have more focus in the prayer. So this is the knowledge. This is the knowledge. When Al-Imam Ahmad rahimahullah ta'ala was dying, they said, Ya Imam, whom among the people you'll be recommending that we ask after you? He said, so and so. قالوا يا إمام عرف بالتقوى لم نعرفه بالعلم. We know him that he's a very pious person, but we don't know that he's a knowledgeable person. Look what he said, rahmatullahi alayhi. قال وما يراد بالعلم إلا التقوى. What we are seeking knowledge except to get taqwa. So if that man has taqwa, that's the person that you should ask. Because he has going to have a dignity and sincerity when you're going to ask him about something that he will not know. He said, I do not know. Then you're going to help the whole community to put their effort to make the ijtihad to find the right solution. But if someone, subhanAllah, with no knowledge will give you an answer, he's going to be misleading and misleading others. But when someone who said, I do not know, actually this is, subhanAllah, where subhanAllah dignifying the whole community. Why? Because when you do not know, then you're going to put your effort together, calling people, calling scholars to try to have the right answer. But when someone is intimidated and he cannot say, I do not know, out, subhanAllah, of excessive pride in self, that he does not want to break his ego, and he will throw something, and people, they will take it as they take it and embrace it as their deal. And it might not be the right answer. So he's going to be causing يُضِلُّ النَّاسِ. He's going to be causing misleading and misguiding people. So this is the first. قال فإن لم تفعل ذلك فاسأل سؤال المتعلم. So if you do not stay quiet and silence as someone ignorant, as he mentioned it, rahimahullah ta'ala. قال, secondly, if you do not behave like this, ask the question سؤال المتعلم. Ask the question of someone who wished to learn. سؤال متعلم. Not سؤال معجز. Do not ask a question, subhanAllah, to have the scholar or the teacher, putting obstacle in his speech, or prove him wrong, or, want to show that he does not have knowledge. Nobody has enough knowledge. Who can have enough knowledge? Nobody. As I told you, Al-Imam Malik, وَمَا أَدْرَكَ مَا الْإِمَامِ مَالِكِ, 70% of the question, or more actually, in the way he said, I do not know. And he said it with a strong heart. And with very calmness. It's not like someone feel intimidated, I'm sorry, I don't know. I do not know. It's very simple. I don't know it. قال إما أن تسكت قال فإن لم تفعل ذلك فاسأل سؤال المتعلم. Ask the question of someone who want to learn. فتحصل على هذه الأربعة المحاسن. So you're going to get the 4 mahasin that we have mentioned. If you ask a nice question of learning, you want to learn, wishing to learn, then you're going to have those reward of your attention, attending, the praise of being quiet and for your reserve, the dignity in your behavior, as he said, as you're going to be rewarded for it, and the kindness and the love and the friendship of those around you. So these 4, you'll guarantee it. And then you get another one, قال الخامسة وهي استزادة العلم. The 5th one, you're going to increase in knowledge. Because when you ask the question, the answer, you're going to retain it for the rest of your life. Because when you have sincere intention and you ask sincerely to learn, the question, you will memorize it, subhanAllah. It becomes like part of your knowledge. And that's one of the blessings of the study sessions. وصفة سؤال المتعلم هو أن تسأل عما لا تدري. So what is the description or the characteristic of someone who's asked to learn, who wishes to learn, that he only asks about the points he does or she does not know. You don't ask about the point you know. No, you ask things truly you don't know it. And then you have a big question mark in your mind. You said, what it means? How can I do this? And then you ask the question. That's how we learn. Because you have knowledge and you come, subhanAllah, to an impasse. That impasse, you need for it a key. What's the key, subhanAllah? Is the question. Who's going to give you the key of this impasse? Is the scholar, is the teacher. Then you go a next step in your knowledge. Then you learn to come to an obstacle. Then you're going to ask to remove that obstacle. And that is سؤال المتعلم. That is سؤال المتعلم. أن تسأل عما لا تدري لا عما تدري. So you ask on things that you do not know. Do not ask about things that you already know. فإن السؤال عما تدريه سخف وقلة عقل وشغل لكلامك. Subhanallah. He said, to ask about what one already knows is a proof of ineptitude and a weak spirit. This is what he said. It is only a player and a useless waste of time for oneself and for others. Because sometimes people, they ask the question about things that they know to show to other people that I know. So this is, subhanAllah, is a very bad behavior. As he said, قال السخف, being, subhanAllah, they have this, this characteristic of being ineptitude. And قلة عقل, weakness in one's spirit. Why are you asking about something that you know? You already know. وشغل لكلامك, and just talking and wasting your words and wasting the time of the people. وقطع لزمانك. It's like, killing part of your time that's been offered to you to invest it in something. So you stayed listening, concentrated, you helped other people to learn and to get benefit of the time, instead of taking time of the study session about, subhanAllah, turn it into a vain or wasted time because you already know it. Because you already know it. بما لا فائدة فيه لا لك ولا لغيرك. It does not have benefit, nor for you, neither for you or nor for others. وربما أدى إلى اكتساب العداوات. And it might, subhanAllah, lead to creating enmity. Because when people, a student or like a neighbor knows that you already know, he knows that you are not right in this halaqah. You are like causing problem. So everybody will be like sending their like mean look to the person. And you don't want that. وهو بعد عين الفضول. It's like, subhanAllah, waste. Yeah? قال, by doing this, you will only provoke dislike and it will only be pure verbiage. So do not play games. It's a bad fault. It's something that is bad. طيب. We said half an hour. We'll stop here, inshallah, and we'll continue next time on the different attitude And if you ask a question, and if you are answered, you might, subhanAllah, and this is very difficult, because you might ask a question and you have something in your mind. And you have communicated well according to what you understand. However, the listener or the teacher, he might not understand it, or does not understand your intention. So he'll answer based on the apparent words of yours. If you get the answer, but if it's far off what you think, it's either you're going to ask again the question, or just hold silence. Because if you're going to continue, you're going to cause a problem. And this is how we're going to explain in a very nice manner. And all the objective is to preserve the sincerity, the learning, the increasing knowledge, and having this session of study beneficial for everyone who's attending, and getting the reward of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and the blessing that will comes with it. We stop here bi'idillah, wa jazakum Allah khairan wa barakallahu fikum. If you have any question, you are welcome. We'll continue next time bi'idillah.